Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rebooked. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. It is TNA Thursday, our special YouTube exclusive episode. And this week, we got a good one. We got a special event that'll be happening tonight in Las Vegas. It's part of the whole WrestleMania week extravaganza. TNA is invading as well with Unbreakable. But of course, I'm not alone. I can't do this alone. No, you've got me, yes, the Drama King, but of course, you've got GB as well on the call, and our good boy Jake representing all the mustachioed weirdos out there for everyone who's watching, listening, and enjoying. Fellas, how we feeling today?
Ooh, I'm pumped for Unbreakable because now for those who are watching our show across we record in different order, which I don't know why we do it that way, but whatever. And in the Friday show, we're going to make a joke about me not getting a ticket to Unbreakable. But we just found out right now, because we record TNA last, that I actually do have a ticket for Unbreakable.
I'm really good.
So now
I'm very nice. I'm a good friend. Yes. Yeah. You had no faith in me 20 minutes ago.
I had faith. I was fine. I was fine. It was... Oh, Jake, I think you're muted.
Now
muted, Jake.
Oh, yeah. How does that feel, Jake? How does it feel to be muted, Jake? How do you feel? You feel smart? You feel real dumb?
I did it so that I could go pee. I'm a very loud peer. No, I'm just
another inside lore joke. As I had my push to talk, I have it not only on a pedal, but that pedal controls like a macro. And I'm for some reason made the macro for a very commonly pressed key. And so, like, I was looking things up during our show, which is why I kept getting muted.
That's so funny.
Because I was typing things and I kept hitting the T button.
That's good.
Anyway, lore all the way to the floor, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, so if you're listening to it, or excuse me, watching this on Thursday, then when it releases, both I, in my working capacity, I'm going to be in 3 places today, guys, because I'm going to be here on YouTube. Doing this show Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Then I'll magically go to St. Joseph, Missouri, where the countdown to Unbreakable will be airing on Access TV, Sportsnet 360, and around the globe. Then, within milliseconds of that show ending in Missouri,
no way,
I will teleport to Las Vegas live for Unbreakable. Baby, I am global.
You are,
wow,
or mostly domestic, but still, it's
easy.
Yeah. So the TNA budget is all being blown on travel.
Pretty much. That's what's happening. And on Lightspeed technology to get you from Missouri to Las Vegas, which, as we know, is something you could do in a couple minutes, typically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can now.
Yeah, exactly. Through the power of technology.
We don't do pyro.
I guess TNA stands for teleport in North America. It's terrible. That was terrible.
It was real bad,
but it worked. Took a shot, though. I like you went for it. I'm proud of you. Good job.
But it's gonna have to work today. It's gonna have to because I gotta get there. Unbreakable is live tonight. PLE Impact. Oh God, I almost said Impact Plus. TNA Plus, of course, and so you can check that out. It's our special event because the big story, the big tentpole of this event. We are here on the 20th anniversary of the Unbreakable pay-per-view, where that infamous, the one everybody talks about, that triple threat match between AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, kind of helped really put TNA on the map as one of the best wrestling companies in the world going. So, as we talked about last week, as you've seen, if you've been watching TNA, this tournament for a brand new international title was instituted by Santino Marella, the director of Authority.
That's right.
With all the qualifying matches being triple threat matches, including the final will be a triple threat match as well. And fellas, we know, let's just jump into it. We know one of those participants as a result of last week's TV show. The other 2 will be determined tonight at Unbreakable. But folks, I'll jump in. GB, what do we think of our first contestant.
Yeah,
for the
so
international title.
depends which one you want to do because we have a few good ones here, but I think we'll start with
Well,
a
I'm
fun one.
saying
the one who's
of
in the finals.
who we already know is there.
Oh, you want to go? You want to start with that one? You want to start with?
I'm saying before we jump into these, what are your thoughts on AJ Francis qualifying? God, GB, try to
love
follow
it.
me.
I'm almost positive. I'm almost positive we called that on the last episode.
Oh,
when
we 100%
we kind of did our we talked about this, who we kind of thought would go in, and AJ Francis, not a surprise. And I could see him winning the whole damn thing. Honest with you,
I do think it is really funny, and I know that AJ Francis has put in a ton of work, and it's been fun. He's great. I'm a big AJ Francis fan, but you always think about like the tumble and things that have happened to him. So it is really funny how like you commemorate this like really epic matchup of 20 years, and the first contestant is AJ Francis.
It's the guy who gets dogged on for
all the time
part of thing, right?
But I think he's going to go in there and be a part of a great matchup. He's in this for a reason. He
wouldn't be in there if he couldn't.
He's got a big frame, so you could do a lot of really crazy moves with a guy like AJ Francis. Part of the reason why Samoa Joe was so great in that matchup, because he had done a lot of those big man moments that allowed AJ and Christopher Daniels to do all the crazy shit that they were doing on top of the crazy shit that he was doing. It was just insanity. So I do think that I will say that I'm a little worried because I don't want people going to this matchup expecting that level of a triple threat, but I think we are going to get something that is just as enjoyable and worthy of the honoring that matchup, which is what the whole point of this is. That's my take.
For sure.
It. Yeah.
Speaking of AJ Francis and that qualifying match, though, before we get to talking about the remaining qualifying matches and then the final itself, as well as some of the other preliminary matches on the card, the big reason that AJ Francis won that match was, like, as we predicted, Jake, to your point, that Sami Callihan and Mance Warner were just trying to kill each other in that qualifying match, which ultimately led to Santino granting Sami Callihan's wish, because, fellas, at Unbreakable, it will be Barbed Wire Massacre, Sami Callihan versus Mance Warner. Jake, what goes down here? What happens?
I think exactly what you see on this photo. I mean, I think Sami is feeling murderous and Mance is scared shitless. And I like, it's going to be a massacre. I really like it. This is going to be a lot of fun. Of course, Steph is going to get involved in some capacity. She's going to do something. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Mance come out on top, thanks to the help of Steph DeLander. But I don't know. I enjoy seeing the heels continue to tumble after their bunk championship they won in the divorce was taken away from them. So I think we're probably going to continue to see some just bad juju go the way of Mance Warner and Steph DeLander. And I'm gonna take Sami Callihan on this one.
Yeah, they're gonna try and murder each other, and that's gonna be fun. Who won the last?
I mean, they
time?
do all the time. They do all the anyway. They've tried to murder each other every.
Because this will be the third time, right?
But now we're allowing them barbed wire.
Yeah. We're now at this point we're responsible. It's up to us. Because I know they fought before. Sami Callihan won that one, right? In the one-on-one matchup that they had at
I feel like they had one on Impact, and I think kind of either. God, I should be better at this.
They have one on a pay-per-view. The last
at Sacrifice.
At Sacrifice,
they kicked the show off because they started fighting right before the show even began. I believe there was one on Impact before that either might have ended in like a no contest, but because it's just been chaos. Yeah. Every match, or whether it was a tag or any segment they've been involved in, is pretty much just broken down in chaos. They cannot be contained, and so we are coming to a head with this Barbed Wire Massacre.
Yeah, and I could see Sami Callihan, but I would like Mance to win it. I would like Mance and Steph DeLander to get a little bit more. I think I want more. I want to see what more where we can go with this. But this is gonna be gruesome.
Yeah, I mean these two. If you've seen
the match graphic is awesome. I really like the match graphic.
Yeah.
Barbed wire going down, splitting that's really.
Yeah. So, I mean, and if you've watched, obviously, Callahan's been in TNA for a while, but has obviously wrestled like everywhere. If you are unfamiliar with Mance Warner before TNA, you can check out just clips of stuff he's done in GCW, PW Revolver, and it's the Indies. I mean, you've seen these guys get wild already, but put them in this environment, and then it's going to go a little overboard. I'm willing to bet there will be blood, as they say. We have a couple other matches that are going down that kind of have some implications for Rebellion, if you will. A couple of tag scenarios with future opponents on the same team. We'll start with this one because there's some wild development in this, what I think is the best story in TNA. Mike Santana will team with the Hardys, the legends themselves, to take on his Rebellion opponent, Mustafa Ali, and the Nemeth, who the Hardys will be facing at Rebellion for the tag team titles. So we're getting two of these big kind of main event match level matches combined for this 6-man tag. And the big thing for me this past week, we saw Ryan Nemeth take on Leon Slater. The Hardys backed up Leon Slater once again. But more importantly, in my opinion, did you guys see what had developed with Mike Santana and Mustafa Ali, and specifically John Schuyler this past week on TNA?
Oh yeah. Hold on, I had the picture up here. Go for it.
Went off. He is off the deep end. He has been pushed to another level. Mike Santana literally, Undertaker, Stephanie McMahon kidnapped John Schuyler in the car. They were trying to run away from Mike Santana, who chased them from the ring and ended up in what they thought was their, driver's SUV. And who was in the front seat? Mike Santana, who summarily knocked out John Schuyler, sending everyone else scurrying, locking him up in a back room, eventually chaining him to a chair and threatening to hit him with a shovel in the face.
Which just doesn't seem like
Step Brothers style.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like something you want to do, because I mean, at the end of the day, they're still coworkers, and I think, and I don't think you want to.
That's an OSHA violation. What are you doing?
It was one or two at least.
Well, let's not forget. So this whole story of him, Mustafa Ali coming back, kind of upstaging Mike Santana, trying to step past him, and then accusing him of being unfit to be the face of TNA, unfit to be a top guy here. His sobriety called into question, which is a very personal thing in the very real life of Mike Santana, something he's overcome. This is played into this story. Yeah, just I love the way this story's been able to juggle both very serious things of Ali just straight up accusing him, your demons are not dead, you can't handle this pressure, step aside so I can, to the sillier parts of it, like they had some levity with trying to make Mike Santana take a pee test and then Santana putting that pee into his coffee to be later served to him, and then again doubling down again a couple weeks ago. We had the Derek introduction, who was introduced as a friend of Santana who recently became sober, who Ali basically dragged off the wagon and got him into a drunken stupor. So that's what set Santana off.
Yeah.
Was the fact that he had this guy again in the story, this friend of his who was on the way, who had been through recovery, and Ali, so intent on shutting down anything Santana does, literally pulls the guy off the wagon, gets him drunk. And so Santana's on the warpath because that's that's how personal it is.
This has been, it's good to get this very deep, very personal feud for both of them, right? You it's kind of what we were talking about with Naomi and Jade Cargill. If you watch our WrestleMania episode tomorrow, that could give you a good idea of what we're aiming for here. But essentially, it's you got guys and gals who are great wrestlers, but they need a thing. They need a thing that gets them over the edge. This is what happened with Hangman and Swerve, right? It was a big part of that and why their rivalry became so monumental. Mariah May, Toni Storm, same thing there, right? You need those. Because it allows the viewer to have that personal connection. Mike Santana's journey has been so fun to follow that it's like these guys are setting up something that's going to last past this feud. And that is a good thing. That is only going to be a net positive for TNA, especially with the introduction of the international title now and the X division. You can do a lot of things there. And more importantly, for both of these men, which I think is a more likely scenario, championship gold, which is definitely in their future, without a doubt. So yeah, this is
for sure.
Well, and you also
good.
have the irony of Santana partnering with someone else who's also fought their own demon.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
You know,
getting back to Unbreakable.
Good point.
Yeah.
Great point.
And you know, how much is Ali going to lean into that? You know, what can Santana take from, you know, the Hall of Famers and legends that are Jeff and Matt Hardy?
Yeah.
But
I hope he gets to
I don't
do the
know,
intro with them too.
Something just tells me that this is a night for the heels.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it is, but something just tells me this is a night.
Yeah, I think as far as who wins, I definitely think the bad guys are getting the dub tonight. For sure.
Yeah.
I agree with
It does
that.
feel that way.
Yeah. It lets itself up for a great opportunity there, you know? Like, man, Mike Santana let the Hardys down, you know what I mean? Like, that could be the thing that they lean on to. Is like, look at him always choking the big moments, right? Like,
yeah.
There's
again. Oh, what are you gonna do, Mike? How you gonna handle the you know, go have a nice cold one and take the edge off, you know, or you know, whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want. Exactly. But speaking of, again, Rebellion opponents, speaking of that, another match with Rebellion ramifications. We're going to see TNA World Champion Joe Hendry team up with the Knockouts Champion Masha Slamovich, take on their Rebellion opponents in Frankie Kazarian, one of Joe's two opponents. And then, of course, Tessa Blanchard, Masha Slamovich's opponent for Rebellion. I mean, this is pretty classic, like wrestling. Like WWE's done this stuff a bunch where it's like, oh, we just have the two babyface champions versus their challengers. I mean,
I love doing a mixed tag match. I love doing that.
Same.
Yeah. I will, to toot TNA's horn, like we like to have fun with those where we actually let the men and women wrestle sometimes, as opposed to just like an immediate tag out.
Yeah.
So that could have some
Tessa
fun
can go with the dudes. Tessa can go.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she was for a while. So
can Masha.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both very, very tough women here. But again, let's not forget Joe Hendry's still a little worse for wear.
Yeah, has the injury.
Cleared for the match, but not 100%.
Right.
Not 100%.
Yeah. Which
again,
I like this.
I do too. And again, I think I got to go with the heels here again. I think that's going to play some kind of part. I think Frankie and honestly, even Tessa, I can see Tessa getting there and just stomping the shit out of his shoulder and just, you know, wailing on him a bunch as Frankie, you know, distracts the ref or whatever it is. But this just feels like I could honestly see, if I'm Frankie, if I'm Tessa, I don't really care about winning this match.
Yeah.
I care about causing pain. I care about hurting. I care about being a problem and giving myself an advantage going into.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would not be shocked at all to see Joe and Masha win strictly by disqualification. I could honestly see it going that way, where Frankie and Tessa are just like, screw it. I mean, what do we have to gain from this?
Just
what do we have to gain from this? Just kneecap our opponents. Exactly. Yeah. So, and that's 100% something that both Frankie and Tessa would do. So I'm going to go, oh man, well, see now do I go with them saying that they're going to win it, or do I go with Joe and Masha saying they're going to win it, but because of disqualification? I'm not sure. But to me, the winner of this is irrelevant. It's what happens within the match that's important.
Who stands tall at the end of it all?
Yeah.
It'll be the heels too.
If I were to give my things that I'm looking out for, right? Let's not forget this is WrestleMania week, so I would be remiss if there was no NXT WWE crossover of some kind. What do we know about Tessa Blanchard's relationship with, like, was it Fatal Attraction or the JC James?
Fatal Influence?
Fatal Influence. Like, but then also there's Ethan Page, who we know very much wants that TNA championship, because even though we got the the promo, him coming out saying everything he wanted to say about being the longest reigning tag champ and all this stuff, he was a former TNA guy. So this is a dude that wants a belt that he never got. So there is a great opportunity here for Ethan Page to show up and participate in some shenanigans. There's a great opportunity for NXT in general to be like, hey, it's a great opportunity here to take out the women and the men's world champion all in one fell swoop. Let's do this.
Everybody's in Vegas.
And everyone's in Vegas. So you just go for it. I actually would really like this to end in utter carnage. I don't think we get a winner. I don't think someone's shoulders hit the mat. I think this ends in disqualification and it ends in carnage. And it is going to be glorious. Oh, well, it would be nice if Bobby Roode showed up too, but that's beside the point.
We're all waiting, but we're all hoping that too.
Yeah.
I do agree. I think there'll be a lot of chaos coming out of whatever the result on paper happens to be. The namesake tournament of the show. Let's get into those remaining two qualifiers, which of course come up between Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, and Steve Macklin is one of those, as well as Zach Wentz, JDC, and Eric Young. I mean, real quick, we got to get to both this and the final. So we'll start with Edwards, Ace Austin, Steve Macklin. Who's winning that match, boys? GB?
I think Macklin. I think because he's been dealing with the North, right?
Well, the Northern Armory.
The Northern Armory, right? He's been dealing with them.
Yes.
And that means he's got Eric Young on the other side.
Right.
So I kind of like the idea of, oh my God, is AJ Francis going to become the international champion because everyone else hates each other?
I'm telling you. That's what I'm almost positive that's what I said.
Is that what is happening? Yeah, I think Steve Macklin's winning. I think he's winning. The only other one is Ace Austin. But that's because you want him in the banger match. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because I like Ace Austin a lot, but I think like
there's
narratively,
also something to be said. Yeah, and I agree with. There's something to be said a little bit just for people not thinking about it too. Ace Austin, his former tag team partner Chris Bay. We've made big
that
deal
is
of telling
true.
their story, and Bay is in Vegas.
That is true.
Still don't know if he'll be at our show. We're hoping he will.
That'd be great.
Even if we could just see him backstage, let alone, I don't know if he'll say hi on camera or anything like that. But so there's a little narrative there that they could try to play on with Ace Austin, who's a rising star of his own. So, but I'm with you guys. I have a lot of faith in what Steve Macklin has been trying to do, which then, to your point though, GB, like gets us to the other qualifying match, which does contain Eric Young of the Northern Armory, as well as the Systems JDC and the Rascals, Zachary Wentz. A unique set of three characters here.
Yeah,
very much so.
From the sound of it, you guys are then thinking this is leading to an Eric Young, Steve Macklin clash in the final?
I think so.
It's the best story.
It makes sense. It's the best story.
It is a good narrative.
It's just the story math checks out.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, much in the similar case of Mance Warner and Sami Callihan in the AJ Francis qualifier that was on Impact. Also, on the other side of this ring, the system and the remaining system members outside of like Moose, so like Brian Myers, JDC, a little bit of Eddie Edwards, they've been dealing with the Rascals.
Yeah.
Right. So there might be a little bit of like chaos, confusion, JDC and Zach Wentz trying to take each other out. Meanwhile, Mastermind, evil leader Eric Young can strike at the right time, right?
Well, and to me too, the other thing that's really big in this is that like when you have these triple threat matches, right, you got to have people that can all these guys are incredible, right? But I always think you got to have like someone that's like the foundation of the match that kind of just like helps to guide everything. And Eric Young is that man for me. He's that man for everyone. So I think like it makes a lot of sense for Eric Young to be the one to do it. Because when you think about it, right, like, okay, JDC wins, Eddie Edwards wins, AJ Francis, no, that's not happening. There's just no way, right? So out of that first matchup where you have Eddie Edwards in there, I don't think he wins at all, right? If anything, I think this continues to add on to the system failing in the moments where it matters the most, and that coming back because
the narrative of earlier,
because someone's getting fired, and it's going to happen one way or another. And you got two guys in this matchup, one of them who started the problem and the other one who's kind of just been the cleanup guy for him. Eddie Edwards messes up, better watch his back. So that's that one. So that kind of eliminates JDC for me, which means then you just have Zachary Wentz and Ace Austin, which Ace Austin makes a lot of sense. Zachary Wentz, less so. And then you got Steve Macklin and Eric Young. It's like it just really works, you know. But I think
a very
about
long-term story there.
AJ Francis winning, and you think who's gonna do better with a brand new title and to get it over with promos, with shenanigans, with silliness. Who is that guy, folks? Just gonna pull it up real fast. I don't care if you guys can see it. This man is winning. AJ Francis is gonna be the international champion. That's it.
This is my dirty Dom pick. This is where I picked a Dom for the
just makes sense.
Intercontinental title. I'm picking AJ Francis for the international.
Also, something to think about too. This could be somewhat of a hashtag spoiler alert. I don't know if it's something we've said on last week's TV or it'll be on tonight's TV from Missouri that we announce it. But for this final matchup, whoever is not pinned or involved in the decision, they automatically get to face the new champion at Rebellion.
Ooh, that changes things now. That changes a lot. That alters my decision, and now I'm going with Eric Young.
You go to hell. I'm sticking with AJ Francis.
I do.
I'm sticking with my big man. A big man's got.
I'm
going with AJ.
Well, you know what? Damn it, AJ's bald too. I was gonna say I'm going with my bald man, but AJ's bald too, so I'd be in the front to him. But I do think that sets up Macklin, Eric Young at Rebellion, which is a great matchup.
There's that which you feel like that it is one of those like that you feel like that's got to happen, got to be made in some whether it's for this new title or not.
Yeah,
Macklin and Eric Young has to happen in some way, shape, or form because of everything. He's trying to get Macklin to join the Northern Army. He doesn't want to. A lot of history there between them. So, does it happen with the title or not? That is the question.
And we're going to get to see this new title.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh,
I'm very interested to see the new title.
I just want the design to not be like circular. I feel like TNA does a lot of circular belts. Like they lean into that. I want something a little bit boxier, I want something.
I don't remember that. I remember certain things about it. I don't remember how either, but it's somewhere in between, I think.
Okay.
It's not like a big penny. It's not like a big penny.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not like a super square thing. It's somewhere kind of in the middle from what I remember. It's pretty though.
I just want it to be distinct from the X Division and the world title. I just want that distinction there. I think that's very important. But yeah. Oh man, it's gonna be such a good show, man.
It will be.
And
to be in the middle of WrestleMania week as well, right? And to have
People
a show,
be hyped. This crowd's going to be hyped.
Yeah,
everybody on the show is going to be hyped.
I agree.
I feel like everybody's really going to be bringing their best for this. It's going to be a great week of wrestling.
Yeah, really is.
Oh yeah,
across the board.
Across the board.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Because you have AEW, they're doing, and it makes sense. They're doing Collision and Dynamite. So you're also getting Thursday Collision tonight as well. So you have Impact as well as Collision, and then you got I think Unbreakable, and then you got oh my god,
NXT's got Stand and Deliver
on Friday, right? Stand and Deliver on Friday. I
or
believe.
Is it Saturday afternoon?
It might be Saturday. Yeah, they usually
Saturday morning, like 11 a.m. or something.
You might be right. You might be right.
SmackDown on Friday, Stand and Deliver, then 2 nights of Mania, like right into Raw.
Dude,
it is juiced.
We are eating.
Yeah, we definitely are. We definitely are. Well, send us home.
Speaking of which, you are also eating with your collaborative or extended content in wrestling in addition to the wrestling because of we have a meaty week of content for you too. Our AEW episode dropped yesterday. If you haven't watched it, you should check it out. You're watching this one, and make sure you check out our WrestleMania preview, which will drop tomorrow before SmackDown, before Mania, so you can get your insight into our weird, twisted brains and how we think WrestleMania is gonna go down. So, by all means, let us know what you thought about Unbreakable in the comments. Who do you think will be? That'll be our question of the week. Straightforward. Who will be the new TNA first ever international champion? Put it in them comments while you're there. Smack that like, smack that subscribe, hit the bell, notifications, all that good stuff. And make sure you watch Unbreakable tonight. So until tomorrow's episode, until all of this crazy week is done and we can talk about it again.
I know.
You got Drama King, you got GB, you got Jake. Thank you so much for joining us.